This is crazy. As a lifelong hater of Taylor Swift, again, not to the extent that I wish ill will on her or anything bad to happen. Come on, like, it's not that serious. I just never thought that she was a great artist like that. But to see the collapse of her fan base, the division of her fan base, oh man, it's crazy. I never thought. Did you hear the album? What did you think? I want to know your thoughts. Right now, we're going to react to a bunch of creators that I put together that I was able to find. They're interesting. They have great takes that I thought that was something to share. I want to know if you resonate with them as well. I'll put their original videos in the links in the description below. Make sure you go follow them, support them. These are great takes that I think, anyway, in my opinion. But I'm going to react to them because, these creators help me organize my thoughts. So let's get into breaking down the reaction of Life of a Show.
Taylor Swift has revealed herself to be resentful of Black women, or at least deeply insecure when it comes to comparing herself to Black women. In the song Opalite, Taylor is referencing Travis Kelce's ex-girlfriend, Kayla Nicole. The lyrics of Opalite include, "You were dancing through the lightning strikes, sleepless in the onyx night, but now the sky is opalite." So Taylor is not only using the lyrics in the song to talk about how she is so much better for Travis than his ex-girlfriend is, which is inconsiderate on its face. What did that lady ever do to you? Right. But she is choosing to do that using the imagery of onyx, which is typically black, and opalite, which is typically...
This shocked me. So watching the breakdown of this shocked the shit out of me. I'm like, isn't this the same girl that an advocate for women empowerment? That's what I thought, so I never thought I would see this blatant. I'm not gonna go out my way to say that she's racist. No, I'm not gonna go out my way there. In my personal opinion, I don't think in my heart she's racist. I think like most white people, they have a moment, and I've discussed this in length with a lot of different people, that the white people that have like a moment of like blatant prejudice, or to the point where, do I think she's entirely racist? No, but they have racist moments. You know what I'm saying? And basically how they grew up. You know what I'm saying? Like how she grew up, how she's around. I just never thought I would see the day. Does this instance right now, the reason why after thinking about it for a while, the instance of her doing this now in this timeline we're in, that's just reckless. That's just negligence. That's just, I would they say, mean girl. Do I think she's an entirety? This is not something she can't learn from. I don't think so. I don't see that. But clearly, poor taste, bad taste. No. I couldn't believe this imagery. I was like, damn. Like I said, I'm not I don't support Taylor Swift. I haven't seen none of her works like that. But I went to go listen to part of the songs that they're referencing here, and you'll see yourself. And yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like none of her writers were like, yeah, this is kind of like racist, bro. You know what I'm saying? If not prejudice and borderline racist.
White, or in Eldest Daughter, Taylor says, "I'm not a bad bitch, and this isn't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." The language of bad bitch and savage are primarily associated with Black women, at least in this context, right. Especially Black women in hip-hop. Both make me think of Megan Thee Stallion immediately. Right. And there were rumors that Travis was trying to holler at Megan back in 2023, shortly.
The reason why I had my issue of calling her super racist by using those terms, these terms are now, as always, these are terms that started within the Black community, coined in the Black community, and then taken to pop culture, mainstream, and taken from us to be used, whatever they feel. And I think she's just adapting to the times of using those key terms. But after listening to a bunch of different takes, I see it. Like I can see why. Yes, it's blatant. Like it's easy to be. They're slick. They use it as a guise sometimes. It's like woke, like the word woke. They always use it as a guise to try to hide their racism in it, Hey, most women use these words. Hey, it's for empowerment, right? Yeah, but the way you used it, though.
Taylor Swift is obsessed with Black women. Let's talk about it. Taylor Swift is obsessed with the fact that several of her exes have moved on to date Black women, and she perceives this kind of conquering of Travis as an end or disruption of this pattern, and she's boasting about it in this album. Let's start with Opalite, which is very clearly about Kayla Nicole, Travis Kelce's ex-boyfriend, whom he dated off and on from 2017.
This is the take I was like, yeah, no doubt. Like, trust me, as someone who's quick to call racist anywhere, I see it blatantly. Yeah, I was like, yeah, she definitely got issues with black women. Some inner.
And oh, Kayla Nicole happens to be black. The lyrics in Opalite could actually not be clearly more like targeting Kayla Nicole, right? It references a video that went viral a couple times in which Travis is literally berating Kayla for being on her phone. Meanwhile, she is an influencer, so that is weirdo behavior because she was working and it's very controlling. But it is very clear nonetheless that that video is referenced in Opalite. The lyric reads, "You couldn't understand it, why you felt alone. You were in it for real, she was in her phone, and you were just a pose," right? Like, Taylor could not have been more obvious and like less creative here. It's not enough to me that like Taylor is using this like crazy like worldwide medium to best a woman that like previously dated her ex. It's also the fact that like Taylor is fully aware that Kayla has received like relentless and racist harassment, oftentimes terrifying, from Swifties in reaction to the fact that she previously dated Travis. So like,
And if that's the case, and she's fully aware, that's when I was like, yeah, that's no, you basically done for in that one. To know, to be aware, and tend to continue to use those terms, knowing we're in this timeline, yeah. Like I said, I'm not quick to call her a racist, but that's definitely racist tendencies right there. And someone needs to have a conversation with her.
this is like purposefully and like blatantly violent. This song does two things at once, right? It proves the fact that Taylor Swift is obsessed with black women, and it endangers Kayla Nicole. But obviously our country is not at its best with critical thinking, so let's like analyze a different part of the song, right? So another lyric says, "But I'm not a bad bitch, and this ain't savage, but I'm never gonna let you down." So in this song, Taylor positions herself as this like unique, singular white flower that is so different from what? Black. Once you step back and realize the song is like final boss pick me ex racism, you realize that Taylor Swift is preoccupied with like this obsession with black women, in part because Travis Kelce has predominantly dated black women in the past. And she wants to define herself as different from his past and therefore better. Again, very weird, very pick-me behavior. Taylor's not only preoccupied with...
And that right there, the reason why I was not quick to call her, because she has insecurity. We all have insecurities of other people and different cultures and everything like that. So hers is on display for the world to see, for millions to see. And clearly she's obsessed, then that's her insecurity. But unfortunately, in this timeline, your insecurity is going to come off, especially in this white timeline we're in, where racism is so overt and violent now. To add this towards a girl that you already know received like racism towards her because she dated your current now boyfriend, fiance, whatever. Yeah, that's just, nah, man. That's not even... But that relays why people are upset with her in this album, because it's such a non-self-awareness, selfish, out-of-touch approach to everything, you know? And it's interesting to watch this whole thing happen. Anyway, let's keep going.
Taylor Swift knows she's not Travis Kelce's type, and that's what the album gave me. So not
Takes
only
are
was the album
relentless.
trash, and the lyrics were trash,
Ugh.
it gave... I'm jealous
Ugh.
because I'm not my future husband's type.
Ugh.
You look at his dating history, you see all these beautiful women. You look down her dating history, you see all these mediocre looking men. And then you get to the end and Travis is her best pull. Her best pull. You look at Travis's dating history and she is his worst pull. And she's insecure because she knows that the entire internet, everyone can see that he settled for her looks wise. Because she's a very famous singer and a billionaire.
Yeesh.
Which, honestly, that's game. And game recognized game. So, whatever. But she's very, very insecure about it. And that's all this album gave. Like, I'm jealous and I'm insecure, but I want to have your babies and you're mine and your dick is so big. And I was just like, is this Taylor Swift or Sabrina Carpenter? And I can't even compare her to Sabrina Carpenter because that would be so insulting to Sabrina.
I have no idea what that
because that's Sabrina's niche, that very sexualized pop, and she eats at it. It seemed like Taylor Swift was taking a page out of her book, but then using like a Blake Lively view on it. I'm blonde, and I should be the one that you want, and like, I have you, but my mind is elsewhere. I don't know. She was just...
Oh, Blake Lively. Ugh. Damn, bro. They must be referencing that movie with Bordoni. Damn. What's that movie they were referencing? What's that movie? Hold up. That movie's called It Ends With Us, where she basically, Blake Lively did their take on it, and then Ryan Reynolds, like, it was a whole big thing. It was bad. Damn, that was like, ugh. But yeah, It's the sign of the times, man. This is the sign of the times. People are over the conversation of mediocre white individuals. People can't relate to it. It's bad that even white people are seeing it. Hence, this is deep conversation that go into white supremacy and all that. But like I said, this conversation we'll save for another day. Another reaction. I want to know what y'all think. Comment below. Let's keep going. Like the conversation of mediocre white individuals being placed as the top everything when there's other content out there from different people from different ethnic backgrounds that top this, you know? And also it's out of touch, you know, and it's really the sign of the times.
White women are really showing their ass in the wake of this Taylor Swift album being released, in that despite the fact that they've rallied around Taylor as this feminist icon for the last 20 years and have, through Taylor, come to terms with some of their own forms of oppression and what it means to be, you know, a female in a patriarchy, and how damaging that can be, and, you know, really identified with that her whole career. Yet now that we are, you know, entering like fascism in America, Taylor Swift, instead of going more towards her roots and what she's identified as and her feminism, is sliding down the alt-right pipeline. And you can say, oh, well, she's just getting older. You know, her music is just, it's reflecting that she's at a different place in her life. And now she's getting married to Travis. And it's okay to want to sing about, you know, making a family with your partner and this and that. Yes, it is. But y'all were the same people saying that the Sydney Sweeney jeans ad didn't mean anything and it's not that deep. Okay, sure. Maybe you can make the argument that it isn't directly racist. But if you situate that Sydney Sweeney jeans ad in the proper historical context of racism and eugenics, it's bad. And you can say, oh, well, it didn't mean that. It's not connected. Not everything's that deep. You're incorrect. Everything in the pop culture, you know, like everything in pop culture is directly related to the context of everything that came before it and everything that is going on right now. Again, y'all did not hear Kamala when she was talking about the context of a coconut tree. It is all in context. Just because you don't see it, because you are literally...
Like, when she was... That's real. Because at the end of the day, like I said, will I call Taylor Swift what she's doing racist blatantly? I'm not there yet. What Sydney Sweeney did, pure racist. It looks like for me, Taylor Swift had a moment of, like, she needs some therapy. You know, you got a lot of insecurities in you, and you're portraying it out to women of color, and you don't realize, either you don't realize, or you should realize, you should be grown. You're grown. You should know that's going to come off violent. So I'm at that place where, like, I don't remember her putting all her energy trying to oppress people. You know, I don't think she's coming off that in that way, but clearly it's coming off prejudice. Clearly it's coming off as, I would say, more like bigoted. You were acting like a bigot right there, you know? I would say it's coming off a bit bigoted.
You have made yourself blind to it.
Right.
Now, of all times, Taylor Swift is going down the alt-right pipeline and trying to identify, well, I'm getting married
and this
to a white man. We'll be having white babies and the whole block's gonna look like us. And she's feeling the pressure of fascism in America. And instead of using her billions of dollars and her massive platform to stand there and say something or anything, really, she decided that she was going to protect herself and cloak herself in her white woman femininity and, you know, say like, oh, well, I'm getting married now. And, you know, some people just want to be dog parents and, you know, like not live in a cul-de-sac. And I guess that's fine, but not me, not me, because I am a white woman who's doing what she's supposed to do in society. You can remove art from the context in which it was created, but it's really stupid to do that. It actually cheapens the art itself. So to talk about anyone's art, but especially this Taylor Swift album, as if it isn't perfectly situated in the context of America's descent into fascism,
right,
by the very girl who was supposed to be the, you know, glorious feminist leader of all the white.
Right.
It's really obvious that you guys are feeling the pressure of actual oppression.
Right.
And instead of standing 10 toes down on the side of the oppressed, who you claim to be, you have decided to align yourselves more with your whiteness and your privilege and whatever, and you are running in the opposite direction, being like, well, Charlie Kirk he was a human too, okay? And we should have empathy for everybody. I'm just saying. And one day I'd love to get married, and you can't take things out of the context that they're in.
Charlie Kirk. Oh, that boy's a demon, bro. That's so real. Like the fact that you're running towards fascism, and whether you see it or not, I don't know. Like I said, I'm not gonna put it on her. Like, but you should know better. Like I'll save racism for people like Charlie Kirk. I'll save racism for heavy handers like fucking, remind me of this conversation. She reminds me of Ezra Klein. Like they're just blind to it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they mean any harm by it, but you're causing harm. So get it together.
The new Taylor Swift album is so bad. The new Taylor Swift album is so bad. And it is so bad that the first time I heard one of the songs, I thought that it was somebody's AI parody of it, but it's not. That's real. And honestly, a sign of the times. Conservative takeover, white Christian nationalist takeover. Of course the music is gonna fucking suck ass. It sounds like a monogrammed Vera Bradley pencil case.
Sign of the times. Sign of the times. Like she says, like I really liked her take. We ain't trying to hear all that right now. Like, we ain't trying to hear all that right now. Whatever your album is talking about, being this lonely white girl who feels unfulfilled as a billionaire, you can't relate to you, right? They're not trying to hear that right now. Nobody's trying to hear that. Ladies are not trying to hear that. The ones like who don't believe in trying to be a trad wife, can't relate to the money because there's no jobs right now. If you have not paid attention to the jobs report, they can't understand what you're saying, And discourse between men and women has been going on for a long time.
She's a lyrical genius. Who else can rhyme without a meter, huh? You don't understand. It's because she's a billionaire that her life is so hard. It's a perspective no one's had before. If a man released a bad album, you wouldn't say zilch. Wait, you would? Yeah. Because you have, and you'll do it again? Okay, well, that's not fair. You can't hold Taylor Swift to the same standards of a man. She's a baby 30-year-old woman. Yeah. You know what? She's having fun. She's having a good time. For the first time ever in her life, she is enjoying herself, and you hate it. You hate to see a wealthy white woman succeed for once. I'm just getting the vibe that you're super jealous. Yes, I mean, how many albums have you produced? 0? Because you work more than 40 hours a
Damn. I mean, like I said, I think what happened, man, damn. Sign of the times, man, sign of the times. It just looked like people just can't relate. Ain't nobody trying to hear all that, and showing that she's not that great. A lot of conversations to have. Again, I'm not going to, as someone who don't enjoy her work and never really care for her work, I'm not going to go out my way. I think I made this just to make sure people I just want to see the reaction of people. I want to see what y'all think. Personally, I'm not going to go in and, pile on her as well. That's not my thing. But it's crazy that this timeline, I understand the vindication for a lot of people who've been feeling like me for a long time, that I don't see it, and in this timeline it's a lot of mediocrity is being exposed. A lot, but I don't wish nothing. I wish no ill will. Obviously, this is just an interesting reaction I wanted to do with y'all. I wanted to see what y'all take on it. Did you like it? Did you check out her videos? Did you check out her reactions? I'm going to do like one more video because there's some dope ass reactions I want y'all to listen to as well, and we can react together. Comment below. It's your boy Rick Reacts. Like and subscribe. For me it goes a long way. I just think that ain't nobody trying to hear, as they describe this billionaire white girl successful, feel like she has a hard while during this timeline. Maybe it could have got away years ago, but it's a conversation I used to have about like celebrity, and that in this timeline you don't have to feel so different from a celebrity. They're not things special compared to you. You are special just the same. You can create your own world. But that's another conversation. And it's crazy as a 30-year-old, and it just goes to show you the difference between their world and our world. And as a 30-year-old, you're finally coming to this realization about yourself and still discovering yourself, which is fine. Everybody has their own journey. But That's why I'm not really harsh on, because she's coming off like a teenager. That's the whole concept of the album, where people are just like, you're a 30-year-old. Where's the evolve? Where's the evolution? And you have a moment of prejudice, or you're jealous of women of a demographic. No, that's why I say it's like, you sounds like you're insecure, as opposed to just racism. It just sounds like you're pure insecure. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know if she comes in realizing that's harmful. And how you not know that at this age, at this stage of your life, have all these resources, you know, how big is your bubble? I used to say white supremacy is a hell of a thing, man. It coddles a lot of white people without realizing what the real world is really about, especially for a billionaire. But anyway, that's besides the point. I want to know what y'all think. This is longer than I anticipated needed to be. Comment below. Did you listen to the album? Do you think people are overreacting? Do you hate my take? Do you think my take is like, what? I'm just jealous. I think I'll make one more video of certain people breaking this down too as well, depending if people want more. All right. See you on the next one.